Hello, everyone. I've called the Darkside detectives. Spooky things are happening here at the Proving Grounds, and we need them taken out. Today, we're talking about the Darkside Detective, with my physical copy for the Switch from Super Whale Games, made by Spooky. I believe this was originally a Kickstarter game, because I've heard about it on PC. I believe it was a Kickstarter game. The physical edition has 6 main cases and 3 side bonus cases, which, well, when we get into spoilers, we'll talk about the third case not necessarily being more of a ha-ha thing, but more of a continuation thing. So, the Darkside Detective is a point-and-click game, through and through. Doesn't really innovate on it, doesn't really build on it, or try to do anything particularly special. It's a point-and-click game, retro-looking, and really, there's not a whole lot of crazy stuff to talk, so I'll try to keep it quick, simple one, because I like the blah 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 blah. So anyway, it's a retro game. You play as Francis McQueen and your sidekick Dooley, who's a bumbling fool. I mean, he's literally holding a sandwich on the cover. And this is mostly a slapstick kind of comedy thing, but basically you play as a detective who deals with the abnormal, hence the Darkside Detective, and each case revolves around some kind of hauntings or monsters or kind of things. But it's a pretty carefree, friendly, ha-ha kind of experience with a lot of comedy in it. Not anything gruesome or really to be too afraid of or anything. The graphics are very retro, like super pixelated retro. There is not a lot of animation. If you're one of those type of people that love looking at a lot of sprite-work animation in old point-and-click games, you're not getting in here. There's very low movement. Sometimes characters might look the other way or something, but there's not a lot of detail. The faces are very blank in that. It's just very basic and simple. It gets the job done, but I would have loved to see more animation. Because I feel like it makes the characters feel very deadish to me. Like, there's just not a lot of movement in the game. It's almost non-existent, really. I feel like it's not like a death of the game kind of thing. It just feels like a check mark in the negative for the game, honestly. Because then it's just mainly really writing off its story in its writing. And like I said, the story is pretty simple. It's not any huge complicated. Hell, some of the plot points are just batshit silly. So it's really mainly just writing off its comedy. Now, control-wise, it is pretty much what you would expect. You have a cursor, you click on stuff, you gather items, combine items, or use items on people or objects in the environment to progress the case forward, to figure out what to do and solve puzzles. There are a few minor little actual puzzles to interact with, but they're pretty minor and there ain't a lot of them. I wouldn't have actually mind seeing a few more, because I think they would have broke up the point-click aspect a little bit more. Now, they did something with the cursor. It's both going to be a compliment and a kind of a So, like I said, I'm on the Switch, so the left analog stick moves the cursor faster than the right analog stick. Now, the idea behind that is if for some reason you're having trouble get the cursor on something specifically, which I didn't have any trouble with actually, but if you do, you can use the right analog stick, which moves slower, to fine-tune it to what you want to click on if you're having trouble. The one thing I find weird though is the game even tells you using both analog sticks make it move max speed, so I don't know why they didn't just make the left one be max speed instead of needing to move both. Minor complaint, but just I would have figured it'd just be easier to make left one max speed, right one slow for fine-tuning if necessary. But, that's just me. Not the end of the world. It's not like incapable of moving both analog sticks at the same time. Just kind of, obviously on PC, that's not an issue at all because I would assume you use the mouse. haven't played it on PC, probably really safe to say you probably just use the mouse, I would imagine. Because that would be really weird if you didn't then. Now, the bonus cases are initially locked. You can unlock them in the options menu, so it's not really complicated. I'm assuming that's probably because they were like Kickstarter rewards, so I guess the idea is if you maybe played the original 6 and never loaded the updated the game and you bought this physical edition, you just wanted to play the bonus ones, is my guess. Though that probably also exists in the PC updated version, assuming that's the scenario. Like I said, I don't know the history of the game. I'm pretty sure it was a Kickstarter game. Pretty sure. Pretty sure I remember that. Could be wrong, though. Could be wrong. Music, you know, it's just slight, mysterious, spooky kind of stuff. Gets job done. Nothing I'm going to throw into a disc tray and be like, you ba 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 ba. Nothing too fancy or anything. It's just pretty much a simple, safe point-click game. I think the standout things is the humor, and that's, you know, generally when it came to old point-click games, that was usually the standout thing along with the animations. Like I said, if you love looking at really good animations of older point-click games, that's going to probably be a very heavy detracting for you on this game. Because you're not going to get that. Not going to get that at all. Oh well, it's just a kind of a safe point-click game. I would say it's probably not going to be the amazing underdog classic, but I enjoyed the humor. Probably not the most interesting, like, I live streamed it, probably not, like, the most interesting thing in the world to watch or anything, but if you like point-click games and comedic ones at that, you might want to check it out. Outside that, maybe pass for most people. But nah, the price. So, my value system, you know, if I say it's, I'll either say, like, it's worth less, meaning that I feel like the price is overpriced, same, where it's fair, or if I say it's higher, you know, I feel like it's actually under the price. This is digital on Switch, Steam, and you can get DRM free on GOG, and the price across all three is $12.99 for the digital version. And if you want it physically, it's going for the minimum 40s on eBay, because it's sold out Super Whale Game, so you got no chance there. The minimum currently on eBay is in the 40s, and it goes up to about 90s. So that's kind of price range the physical version's going in. So honestly, I don't think it's worth it. I think it's more of a $10 range, which isn't that big of a step backward. But I feel like if they gave more polish with animations and give the world a little bit more life to it with the characters, I personally would have felt like it probably worth a little bit more, maybe into the 15 range. But just all the standing around, barely like turning your head occasionally, maybe moving one arm, like there's like in the beginning there's a guy smoking and that, like, it just feels really still alive, kinda. Just very, very lifeless feeling to me, and I just feel like that maybe it's just a bias to a lot of old point-click games. You know, when you look back at old point-click games like Sam & Max and such, that had tons of animations, seeing the characters actually physically moving and stuff, I probably have a bias there, but I feel like it's a slight detract from the game, honestly. It's an indie game, not a AAA game, so I understand likely they probably didn't have the funds to go too crazy, but I would have liked to see just a little bit more than what there was. And there being a sequel to this game, hopefully they do a little of that. I would, because, you know, it's an indie game. This was the first in the series, you know, stepping stone kind of thing, if you know what I mean. So hopefully with the next stone, they go a little bit beyond what they did in this game. It's not a bad game, though. I didn't experience any bugs, crashes, any really terribly flawed things, or broken, or the game locking up, or locking me out of progression through the story or anything, so I didn't have any problems at all, really. I pretty much almost beat the entirety of the game in one day, too. I normally stream between 9 to 9 in the morning to 3 p.m. and on my stream days, and I only had 2 bonus episodes left when I finished my stream the day I started this. So it's a pretty short experience also, so it's not like it's going to consume a month of your time like Persona 5 or Dragon Quest 11. That's only assuming if you play them hardcore. If you're only going to play them for 1 or 2 days, good luck to have your year. So it's not like it's a super time-consuming experience or anything, but so with that, let's mosey on over to spoilers, since I gave you my value in that. I can recommend it if you want, like I said, mainly if you want a comedy point-and-click game, check it out. If you want really good sprite work, animation kind of stuff, or a serious plot, probably a pass. Probably a pass. So let's get into the spoilers a bit here. So 3, 2, 1. So like I said, you got 6 main cases, 3 bonuses. There's a lot of movie references and things to several. They're pretty much usually mostly self-contained. A few elements sometimes carry over from one to another. But pretty much most of the cases are self-contained. The first one's like a little girl getting trapped in an alternate dimension. Another's like gremlins attacking the police station. Dawn of the Dead, which is the episode 6 one, has to do with a mafia guy being brought back to life so he can have a zombie army and stuff. They're pretty out there. That they're mostly funny. Probably Dawn of the Dead's probably one of the more serious-ish ones. Still with some comedy in it, but there's a few actual kind of more serious events that happen in it. You know, being the original, I guess you could say, the original ending. Then you got these 3 bonus cases, which I would imagine will Kickstarter bonuses, but the Christmas special one by Hard was the one I probably spent the most time running around, because it has a lot of shops you gotta go in and get different items to keep solving the situation happening in that. Poltergeist, the 8th episode, second bonus case, is probably the most shortest. It is just like 3 main screens. There's the outside screen, which would bump that to 4, but you don't go back out there and there's nothing you do there really besides just transitioning into the house. Inside, there's literally just 3 screens to solve the situation. It was really fast. Like, the fastest case in the game, in my opinion. Will Bates Motel, which is the last bonus case, actually ends the whole thing in a cliffhanger, oddly enough, which is probably the other major complaint I'm going to really have with this game. It's a very comedic game, not a very serious game. I kind of feel like the cliffhanger thing kind of looks more for serious stuff, so it seems kind of left field for just a cliffhang with Dooley basically being whisked away and Francis just kind of like, it's like poor McQueen, confused at what the hell is going on. Now, luckily, the sequel is picking up there, so obviously we'll be able to get to see the conclusion if you go into the sequel, but I don't know, I just feel like that was left field, especially when it was in a bonus episode. I don't know, just kind of like, some people, it kind of makes me feel like some people might look at the bonus episodes and be like, oh, these are just ha-has, I'll probably not try them, and get confused when they go to season 2. I don't know, it just seemed a little odd to me, but minor complaint. Obviously, it's not like it's some crime to do a cliffhanger, but it felt like a bizarre cliffhanger to me. But overall, that's what I think of the Darkside Detective. It's a shorter experience. It's funny, it has good humor, it's the kind of bad shit, doesn't, like, your logic is stupid kind of humor. Like, Dooley is freaking idiot. But that's what makes him hilarious. I liked it, but it's, like I said, it's mostly like a really safe point-click game. It doesn't really break out of its shell to really do anything that makes itself stand out. Like, you know how like Neo has a lot of bizarre mashup ideas that make it stand out on its own. I didn't get that kind of feeling like with this. It's just a very safe point-click game. It's not bad, like I said. It all functions. It's not broken. I don't particularly like hate it or anything, but it just feels in an industry where there's hundreds of games coming out every week. It just feels very basic, if you get what I mean. Not any negatives to the dev or anything. I look forward to the sequel and to see if they either just do the same old or if they build a little bit on top of it. I don't really expect the retro look to go away, but I would like I said, the main thing I would like to see in the sequel is a little bit more animation to the characters. Obviously, that doesn't make or break a point-and-click game or a story-based game, obviously, but I would like to see it, involve just a wee bit, a little bit. But minor complaints and complaining aside, those are my thoughts on the Darkside Detective. If you feel like you learned anything interesting, feel free to leave a like. And if you feel like you learned nothing, cast your dislike into the void of the dark side. Feel free to leave a comment down below if you got anything to ask. And if you're on Twitch, you can message me if you have a question. Until next time, I'll see you on the dark side. With you too, Dooley.
どうだった？私の作った朝ごはん。感想だよ。感想。そうか。